There are two major things that goes into the training of our children, and these two major things most people overlook, and it affects children of God. It affects our children we are nurturing to become our future. Let's look at these two things: experience and location. You know, most of the trainings or how we train our children is not mostly through our speech, but our children watch us. They watch the people we live with. They watch the people we leave them to take care of them. They watch the location we are. They play with the children around those places. So these two things are very important: location and experience. Let's look at Lot's children. Lot had two daughters, and these daughters were brought up in Sodom, location. Sodom, location. And what are the experiences the Bible tells us about Sodom? Immorality. Immorality. So if Sodom has immorality, and these ladies grew up in Sodom, ended up marrying men from Sodom, then their behavior is a whole package of immorality. So you can see in the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 14, when the angels asked Lot to carry his whole family out of Sodom, he went to his sons-in-law and told them that we are supposed to go. They mocked him because these were people who were drowned in immorality. These were people who loved immorality, so they could not leave Sodom. So these daughters left Sodom with their father because he is their father, and their mother was going to. So they were obedient to their father, but immorality stayed in them. They had been nurtured in the location of immorality. They have experienced immorality. So these children lived just like their husbands, because at the end of the day, they were brought up there. They saw what was being done there. The most righteous people were only Lot and his wife. And for his wife, there is a question mark because she looked back. There are other things she was looking for out of Sodom. So if we are talking about location and experience, be careful where you are training your children and what they are seeing. You have a lot of work to do on that, because you cannot change your location for some reason. For where I am staying, I cannot change it, but I can speak into my children. I can tell them that what you are seeing is not right. This is how we go. This is what it's done. I can show him a clear picture of how people behave, of how righteous people behave. But if you are not doing that and you leave your children for the location, for the area, for the country to teach them what to do, at the end of the day, you might end up like Lot. So Lot and his family left Sodom, and they found themselves in a mountainous area, and he was alone with these two daughters. Since these people were nurtured in immorality, they had no thought but sex. They had no thought but finding a man in them. So they ended up sleeping with their own father to have their children. If these girls were brought up at another area, like Abraham said, I would not allow my children to marry anyone from Canaan. So go into my wife's house and then bring a wife for my son. If Lot had done that, he would have gotten a husband from his father's house or from his uncle Abraham's house, so that his children would have been still under the umbrella of righteousness. And even that, he would have left with his sons-in-laws. And even that, he would have left with righteous and moral children. So most of us are training our children in locations, and these locations have trained our children for us. The experiences our children have found themselves in is training them to become people who we will never want our children to be. If you cannot move from that location, you have a job to do. And that job is to constantly speak to your children. From the day he is born, you teach them what to watch, who to speak to, where to go. Lead them into the house of God. Some parents live in locations that are like Sodom and Gomorrah, but will leave their child at home and go to church. And when you are in the church, the Sodom and Gomorrah you are finding yourself will be teaching your children where to live their life and how to live their lives. So, as parents, these two things are very important: experiences and location. Sometimes you, the parent, are the experience. Your behavior cannot teach a child. The way you are cannot train a child. The location you are cannot train. For some people, they send their children off to a place that can train their child. They send their children off to locations where their children can be nurtured in the things of God, in the right morality. So you would find a mother who lives in a place like Sodom and Gomorrah and later see that my son, my daughter is going their way, and will send their child to another location, to a sibling who is in the right morality to train their child. And most of the time they have a success story. If you are parents and you are seeing something in your child that you don't like, that will grow to harm you, please rise up. If that child is small, start teaching him the right way. If that child has outgrown, please pray and also rehabilitate that child. Bring his senses back home. Location, experience, these two things can cause all your years of hustling for your children to fall away. Be careful as parents. Experiences are the best teacher. Experiences, they are the best teachers. If you have been in a location and if you have grown in a location and you are still the good girl you are, it is because you loved God. But if you did not have God in you, that location really trained you. So beware, experience is the best teacher. So make sure that the experiences of your location, if bad, does not train your children. Be the experience of your children. Let them have an example in you